Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, Mike Kirtley here with the AC. We have a great webinar for you today. We've got Iffi Wahla with us. Iffi owns Edge virtual assistants, basically. It's way better than that. He's going to be talking to us today. We've partnered with Edge now for, well, probably 3 years, if you really think about it, if not a little bit longer. Been one of our long-standing partners and has done a great job. Had a lot of great operations already with AC members. So we wanted to bring Iffi back on. You'll be seeing him at our conference, which if you've not registered yet, please do that. Time is running out. But Iffi will be there and is great to talk to. So with that, I will turn it over to Iffi.
Cool. Thank you, Mike. Let's get rolling, guys. So today's topic is going to be about improving your operations at your agency and really generating more profit. This is exactly what I did at my agency, real world stuff, and it really made a huge difference for the agency. So just about me a bit. I started my agency about 8 years ago. Grew it to about $30 million in premium until I sold it in 2021. And really for the first 5 years, we were figuring things out. I think we plateaued and we got stuck at something like $10 million in premium. And the last 3 years is, I guess, when the magic happened and we were able to add about $20 more million in premium. Just a lot of it has to do with our mindset shift and bringing in the right team members to the organization. So, this is a slide that kind of talks about the state of the insurance industry. I'm not going to read it. I think we've all heard it. We've all experienced this before. And there's a lot of people, retiring in our industry right now. I think everybody kind of knows that, right? I mean, there's a consolidation. New people just aren't coming in to our industry. And, at my agency, for instance, the last two people that we hired in California, like the local people, were people that had actually left our agency and they came back at some point. So it's pretty common, people are just agency hopping and there's just not a lot of new people coming in. Hiring is hard, but it's something you have to do. You have to build your team if you want to grow your organization. And we work with, a lot of hospitals, a lot of big medical groups, media companies, insurance companies are our customers, and a lot of other businesses. And I'll tell you, I mean, when you're in it as an agency owner, I always thought like it's just way harder to hire in insurance. And it's absolutely true. Hiring in insurance in general is much harder and much more difficult than almost any other industry, because, a lot of people don't think about coming in the insurance as a career, and they're just not looking for those types of jobs. And as a consequence, you have limited talent pool. You're settling for low quality people. You have high turnover, and a lot of times, frankly, you're overpaying for people who just don't deserve it. We've hired something like 1,000 people over the last couple of years, and here's some points that you can do to overcome your staffing challenges. I mean, number one, the best investment by far, what you can do is invest in your current people. That means upskilling them. That means getting them to training, maybe even hiring somebody to show them who's already done it. And this is always going to be, one that you're not going to regret, is investing in your people. At my agency, we had an accountant at our agency. He was amazing, great attitude, great everything. He just didn't have the experience that we needed as we were growing as an organization. So, interviewed a bunch of people, but what we ended up doing was we found a course online. It was like a month-long course. We paid for it. It was like a couple $1,000s, but it ended up being one of the best investments ever. He's still there. He's running and handling all the accounting at the agency, even today. Another one is, incentivizing your current team members to do a lot more of the things that you want them to do, whether it's cross-selling, whether it's, getting an umbrella policy, whatever the case may be, just finding like what your agency needs to, like what your goal is, and then creating those incentives to get people to do those types of things. The next one, technology is huge right now. I mean, doing more with less, embracing change. Automation is kind of the new name of the game, and just figuring out how to, using some of the tools out there right now to do more with less people is something you have to do. And the main one that I really want to talk about is hiring remote, and this is one that we did at the agency with incredible success. And so, just for context, my agency, we had 5 offices, 2 in LA, 1 in Sacramento, San Diego, and then we had 1 in Nevada. And just 2020, we closed all 5 of them. We went 100% remote. It saved us something like $300,000 a year in just office expenses. And we became 20%, like literally 20% more profitable in the course of like 6 months of making all of these changes. And this is not even counting the salaries that we saved of the employees. Outside of that, some of the other really great benefits of hiring remote is access to a larger talent pool. Like, you're no longer stuck like we were. Like, whenever we get a resume at the agency, we'd be like, okay, first thing we'd look at is, no matter how awesome or great the person was, where does this person live? Do they live within 30 minutes of the office? And if not, then we're like, okay, this person's probably going to leave us. And it was a deal breaker. We just didn't move forward. So just access to bigger talent pool is just such an incredible power as you're growing your agency. And when you hire better people, you have more productivity from those people. And so that's always a plus. Cost is huge. I mean, so our agency is in California, specifically Los Angeles. I think our lowest paid employee account manager in LA was making something like $85,000 a year just in base salary, right? Which is, sounds like a lot, but in California standards, that's actually not that much, especially in LA. I'll tell you what's not the answer when you're thinking about hiring for your agency and really for your long-term customers. And I think all 3 of these options are ones that the agency owners go to as a last resort. Like, it's never a good experience. So you think about call center or outsourcing companies. We've all tried it. We've all dealt with service centers, et cetera. How many good call center experiences have you had? And not many, right? I mean, so why would you do that to your customers? Virtual assistants or VAs is something we've all heard about. The promise is you have half the cost. But the problem is you're getting literally half the employee. Usually these folks are just back end, like they do back end work. And that's about it. So you're, no communication. And it's really not a good experience. I mean, I've tried, when we were growing my agency, we tried all the VA companies and had to fire almost all of them because it just wasn't a good experience at all. And our customers just weren't happy with it. So I'll tell you kind of the difference between call centers and VAs versus hiring through the Edge platform. So VAs are typically super low quality, poor communication, usually call center employees. They're back end trained only. Like, they may be good at that, but as soon as you put them in front of a customer, which we had to do dealing with a lot of high-end customers, it just doesn't work. Through Edge, through the Edge platform, 100% of the people that get hired through our platform, college degrees, they're full-time employees. They all have incredible communication, and they're all really built to be customer facing. So it's really like having your own true full-time employee that's yours, just like any other employee. And that's really what our platform solves for, is how do we connect awesome people who are trained, who we've invested in, and how do we connect them with incredible companies like your insurance agency? So really, we're your complete HR solution, where it's the person that you hire, it's going to be hand curated. We work with you for onboarding, what carriers you work with, getting those folks trained on that through our platform, and really ongoing support for you. So here's some of the things that, when we started hiring remote, that made a huge difference in our agency. So think about having all these things you see on the screen that take up a lot of your time taken care of, or at least, reduced by like 90%. If you didn't have to take a phone call today, or at least have 90% less phone calls, what would you do? What would your producers do? Could you focus more on revenue activities? How about if quoting was done for you, right? Or at least 90% of it done for you, like the data entry of quoting, would that make a big difference for your agency? Would it be amazing if your customers received a phone call as soon as the next morning, as soon as the claim is filed with an insurance with the insurance carrier? Like, would that make your customers more loyal? So these are all the things that we did at my agency when we started hiring remote around the world, and it made a massive difference. Like retention literally went up by like 4%. Our quotes, like I remember our quoting used to be something like, hey, okay, we'll give you a quote, give us 24 hours, we'll get back to you. So we cut the time from quoting for 24 hours to literally, we were back on the call with the customers. If it wasn't live, it was like within 30 minutes. So quoting was cut dramatically. And first thing in the morning, we had someone, an account manager, that would look at the reports and call the customers first thing in the morning, just asking, are you okay? Like, you had a claim, this happened, are you okay? Nothing else, just are you okay? And customers obviously talked to us, but they absolutely loved it. I mean, our Google reviews just skyrocketed. It made such a massive difference. And as a result of that, more referrals, et cetera, all the good stuff, just by being properly staffed and being able to do all the things that were always on our wish list as an organization, but we just couldn't do them because of the lack of staff. And so how the platform basically works is when you come to us, you're like, I want to hire somebody. We get to know you, and we present you with 3 candidates. You meet them. If you like them, you hire them. If you don't, or you can ask for a new pool. But we, like I was saying earlier, we are the entire HR platform. Like, we literally get to know your agency. We make sure that the people that you hire are trained. And then from that point on, we help you, manage them. And here's why customers really love us. Usually, think about putting an ad on, LinkedIn or Indeed or wherever people hire these days for insurance agencies. Think about how long that takes. It's 30 days, and you get a bunch of resumes, you review them, and then you call them, and you have to, interview them. And it's just like such a long process. So for us, the average agency that gives us a ring has their first hire within 7 days, which is just crazy fast. But you think about all the time and money that you save by just hiring that quickly. So we have people in a few different countries around the world. There's a couple of Latin America countries for Spanish speakers. We're in Asia and Pakistan. We're expanding to other countries. 100% of our people on our platform are college grads. And just, based on the people, the average cost savings average is something like 50% compared to hiring locally. And if you're in California or one of the coasts, it's actually something like 70%. So massive saving. And then the best part is these folks are your team members, just like any other employees. Our retention of folks across the whole organization is something like, it's close to 98%. So these people are your employees. They stay with you for long term. So here's just a quick slide about the investment of that we do in people. And this is really our secret. It's our minimum 4-week training course that we do. And this is just general insurance, training. And then post that, once we get to know your agency, we figure out what carriers you work with, what AMS system, what phone system. Like, we literally get to know your agency. And then there's an additional training. And then on top of that, just because we work with, organizations in all 50 states and a few other countries, there's continuous training. So, we have folks call us all the time, like, hey, I got this new carrier, or we're moving from AMS to Hawksoft, or whatever the case. Can you help us with additional training? And that's what we do. So we're not just another staffing agency. We're really your HR partner, meaning that we take care of everything, your medical of the employees that you hire through us. We take care of equipment. We have office spaces around the world, literally everything, bonuses, whatever. So we take care of all that. So really your true HR partner. I forget some stat, but it's something like, when an insurance agency hires through Edge, it's something like 90% that their next hire that they're going to hire in their agency is also going to be through Edge as well. That's just a little bit about us, guys. Here's here's the last slide about our pricing. This is bilingual Spanish speaking prices, $22.95. That's all inclusive, meaning everything is included. This is after a 10% discount for AC members. And plus, if you commit to a demo this week, like if you meet with one of our account executives and do a demo call this week, we'll give you $300 additional off for the first 3 months. That's really it. Really quick and simple. I'll take any kind of questions right now, but the last thing I'll say is, if you look at any agency that has aspirations to grow, I know at this point it sounds a little bit of cliche, but really you can't get to a certain level without hiring additional and better people, right? So it's all about the people. Just don't forget that. And as soon as I realized that, again, our agency just made a massive and huge difference.
Thank you, Iffi. I don't see any questions in the chat. If anybody has any, if you want to type them in there real quick before we wrap things up. Do you have any part-time?
So this is actually probably our most asked questions, and so the answer is no, and the reason is what we found, like what we're solving for is getting folks in your agency who are long-term employees, right? Not just kind of just there doing a couple of things and just showing up, not showing up. So philosophically, we've decided that not to do the part-time thing for now, and just really help you bring on the best people that are going to be with your agency for a long period of time. So really, who are committed to your agency, and that's really their full-time gig is with your agency.
Okay. Did you see? Do they do proactive sales?
Look, so these folks are. I think we have a couple of people who are just licensed. So I guess they technically can, but we have to kind of check state by state. As you guys know, like sales really, whether the difference between, like, we've checked with all 50 DOIs, and the difference between being able to do sales or not is or giving advice or not is whether you're licensed. And so because they're not licensed, they can certainly, like what do my agency, call people up and, see what they don't have and set up follow-ups for producers or licensed folks, but just strictly telemarketing, and that's not what this is about. That's more of like call center and type of stuff. So not like that type of sales, but certainly like anything that your agency, like the activities that get you to that point, definitely.
Okay. And you had said that that is for full-time employment, and full-time means about how many hours per week?
So average person it's actually average person works about 45 hours on a weekly basis. That's average, 45.
Okay. And can you explain the AC discount again?
Yeah, so the AC discount, let me pull that up again. For just English only speakers, it's $100 off per month, and that's indefinitely. And then same thing for bilingual speakers. It's instead of being $23.95, it's $22.95, so $100 off. So that's an indefinite partnership discount that we have with the AC. But on top of that, for the first 3 months, we're doing another 1,000 or $900 off, like basically $300 off for the first 3 months for just setting up a demo this week. And I'm gonna throw I know we'll be reaching out to all of you guys, but I'm gonna throw our website in the chat. So if you go to the schedule a demo on top, and just let them know that you heard through this thing. So next question is, how do you control, how do you control these employees And do you utilize any video controls? And how does this work? So they'll talk about that in a demo more. But look, one of the things that I realized and that made a massive difference at my agency when we're hiring people is you just hire the best and the smartest people you can, possibly afford, right? It's much better to hire somebody who's just smart, who's a hustler, who gets it done, versus somebody who has 10 years of insurance experience. Like that person with a 10 years of insurance experience may outrun the person without experience for maybe like a couple weeks, maybe a month. But really the first person who's just better in every other way, better communication, like they're going to pick up and they're going to surpass that person really quickly. So, that's part of the platform that we offer. Like we take care of all the security, we have all the security tools, etc. But the bottom line is these are really smart, really capable, professional class of people that really deliver on everything that we're promising you guys here today. And then the next question from Jamie. Yes, they're exclusive. Like, again, that's our philosophy. These are your employees. This is their career. When they join your agency, they're not working anywhere else. They're literally your employees, just like any other employee would be. We don't do any kind of part-timing or any of that. In fact, folks come to our platform in search for amazing jobs at awesome companies, and that they can build a career on. So they're only exclusive. That's all we do. So workers' comp or any of that stuff. Notice these folks are in a few different countries around the world, depending on who you hire. So our price is all inclusive. That's like local taxes, that's salary, that's workers' comp, health insurance. Like that's that's a combined and complete single price. Like literally our mission as an organization is, how do you hire globally? How do you make that easier than hiring locally? And that's really the purpose of what we're doing here, is to make this just single price and make it really easy for you to hire somebody super amazing. And as far as contract, it's just like we believe that this is a long-term play, and so these are your employees. If you decide at some point that they're not good fits, or you want to hire somebody else or something like that, there's not a contract that they're very similar to actually the AC, right? So there's not a contract to get locked in. We really kind of, our job is to deliver on everything that we're promising you. Mark had a question about equipment. Again, complete package. We offer a separate monitor, a computer, headset. If you have proprietary phones in your system, we can, or in your agency or any kind of, we can provide that. It's, again, all inclusive. There's nothing extra that we charge on the platform. Headset, webcam, everything is all inclusive.
Okay.
Great.
Yep, I don't see any more questions. So thank you all very much for attending. Iffi, thank you very much. With the markets we have now and the insurance industry issues, this is an awesome opportunity to probably save money for a lot of our agents. So with that, Iffi, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No. So how do you schedule a demo? So you go to our website, which I just threw into the chat. So you just click to schedule a demo, and just be sure to let them know that you're with the AC. The AC members have by far our best discount, and but other than that, we'll be reaching out to you guys as well in the next couple of days. Thank you much.
Yep. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
If you can, let's sign up for the conference, and you all can sit with Iffi in Orlando in 3 weeks. So thank you all very much. Y'all have a great afternoon.